Yeah, and let's talk about the defiance, because this is connects to something I've found interesting. And just the night before the election, it was announced that former Vice President Dick Cheney died. And I know Democrats, critiques of Trump, especially during his first term, and once he was out of office, they complained a lot about the erosion of norms. Right, this was like a big fixation of theirs about how we've gotten rid of norms. And with Dick Cheney's passing, there was some debate I saw. Cable news seemed to go the traditional normal route with how they talked about Dick Cheney. It's all just positive, remembering what they see as the positives of his career. In the digital space, there was kind of a mix of some people making critiques, others saying if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. And in the center to me, it was kind of this battle over norms. And I bring it up in the context of Mamdani because there was quite a, at least in my estimation, a shocking moment on CNN last night, which is the one commentator I didn't really expect to kind of immediately attack Mamdani was Van Jones. And maybe I'm naive about that. But as soon as Mamdani's speech ended, Van Jones, rather than being kind of electrified by this progressive speech in New York City and this massive victory by a young person who's electrifying the audience, immediately talked about how he was complaining how Mamdani didn't give into the norms. He shouldn't have been defiant. He should have been positive. He shouldn't have talked that way to Trump. He shouldn't have talked that way about Andrew Cuomo. What do you make of that analysis and sort of this fixation on norms?
Van Jones is the absolute, I was not surprised. Let's put it that way. Van Jones has over and over and over shown that he is willing to say what he thinks needs to be said to be heard. He does not have a strong set of values. He's someone who, I don't know, maybe a decade or more ago might have been a progressive political commentator. He's an absolute sellout, and I don't think he's worth listening to in this moment. I put him in the same category as Ezra Klein, for that matter. One of these so-called political pundits who our electorate is now very clearly saying, shut up and sit down, right? Because what you have to say has so little basis in the lived experiences of people's day-to-day lives. If we are not defiant about the fact that the 1% has screwed us over, if we are not very clear about the battle lines of the class war that the rich is waging against us, we are going to lose, because we have been losing. The Democrats have over and over again shied away from being defiant and lost. Right? Kamala Harris couldn't, a party that couldn't have a nominee that could stand up for genocide. This has been said by others before. If you can't draw the line at genocide, how can you draw the line at saving democracy and against fascism? So Van Jones sees those boundaries, those so-called norms, as more important. It's like, let's civility is more important than values. If civility is more important than values, then you don't belong in this political moment.